The impact threw me against the control panel. The capsule spun, wrapped in fire and noise, until it crashed into something soft, wet, alive. Silence, only the hiss of air escaping through a crack. When I managed to open the hatch, a green glow flooded my vision. The ground was a carpet of blue moss, and the air smelled of wet earth, ripe fruit, and something else. Something sweet, almost human. I took off my helmet, and the tropical humidity embraced my face like a warm sigh. I had fallen into a jungle, but it wasn't an ordinary one. The leaves were the size of sails. The roots looked like petrified serpents, and through the mist came a low, feminine chant that vibrated in my bones more than in the air. I moved forward with difficulty. Each step made the ground exhale steam, as if it were breathing. The gravity was slightly weaker, making everything feel lighter, dreamlike. Then the singing stopped, and I saw them. They were women, tall, unbelievably tall. The shortest must have been at least 5 meters high, yet they moved with a grace that defied logic. Their skin was human, sun-kissed with real imperfections, pores, faint scars. They weren't metallic goddesses or ethereal beings. They were alive, real, perfectly human, only magnified. Their hair fell like curtains in shades of black, copper, and silver, and their enormous eyes reflected the sunlight filtering through the leaves. They wore garments made from natural fibers in earthy and moss-green tones, clinging to their damp bodies from the forest heat. One of them saw me. Her steps thundered on the ground like a slow drum, and her shadow covered me completely. She had a young face, strong, almost wild features, and a voice that pierced through my chest. What small creature dares to tread upon the sacred soil of Elira? Her gaze softened when she noticed my fear. She knelt, her face now before mine, enormous but calm, and extended a hand the size of a boulder. "Do not fear, little traveler," she whispered. "Your coming was written in the roots." Other women emerged from between the trees, surrounding me in silence. I could feel their curiosity, their warmth. Some laughed softly, others murmured in a musical language, but all looked at me with the same blend of tenderness and restrained desire. "You have come from the sky," said the first one, her voice trembling slightly. "The stars told us that when the last man falls from the heavens, life will bloom among us once more." I swallowed hard. The air grew thick. I didn't know if I was dreaming, or if I had just become the center of a forgotten prophecy. Then she smiled. Her smile was warm, sad, and deeply human. "Come, we have so much to show you, and so much to ask of you." They carried me in the palm of one of them, as if I were a wounded bird. Her skin was warm, soft, and smelled of fresh rain. With every step she took, the trees bowed, as if paying reverence to their queen. I could barely breathe. The magnitude of it all overwhelmed me. We passed through a natural arch formed by intertwined roots, covered in lantern-sized flowers. Beyond it, the forest opened into an impossible city. Living structures of moss-covered stone, towers carved directly into massive trunks, and vine bridges that vibrated with every breeze. Elira, the hidden city of giant women. From above, dozens of them watched us. Some rested on branches, others wove golden plant fibers, and others simply walked barefoot, leaving footprints that looked like small lakes. Their laughter filled the air like a warm chorus, but their eyes studied me with an intensity that mingled hunger, sorrow, and hope. The woman who had rescued me set me down on a round stone beside a clear waterfall. She knelt before me, her knees sinking into the soft earth. "I am Lysara, guardian of the lineage," she said solemnly. "It has been over 100 cycles since a new being was born in Elira. Our men vanished when the sky burned. Since then, only we remain, and the echo of what we once were." I didn't know what to say. I looked around, trying to take it all in. Every detail of the city seemed alive. The houses breathed. The walls pulsed with an inner light, as if each stone held a memory. Amid that luminous, humid greenery, the giant women moved with elegance, as though every step was part of an ancient ritual. Lysara offered me a bowl carved from crystal. The liquid inside was green, thick, and released a sweet, intoxicating scent. "Drink," she said. "It will help you understand us." I hesitated for a moment, but her gaze had something hypnotic, something I couldn't refuse. I drank. The taste was intense, a mix of fruit, nectar, and electricity. I felt warmth rise from my chest to my temples. The jungle shifted before my eyes. Colors became more vivid. The air seemed to vibrate with hidden sounds, and the women's voices echoed inside my head, as if they were speaking without words. "Now you can hear us," Lysara whispered without moving her lips. "Elira speaks through us, and you are within her fabric." Her giant finger brushed my cheek and a surge ran through my entire body. For an instant I saw what they saw: centuries of solitude, a race condemned to silence, the beauty and sadness of a world forgotten by the gods. Then Lysara looked at me with a different expression, more human, more vulnerable. "We didn't bring you here by chance, traveler. You were called. Elira chose you to give us back what we lost." Her voice broke, and the other giants bowed their heads as if witnessing a prayer. The seed of the future. My heart pounded. I didn't know if this was destiny or a trap, but in that moment, I understood that somehow the living jungle and its giant daughters had been waiting for me for centuries. That night, the sky of Elira burned with a strange glow. There were no stars, only great fireflies drifting slowly among the treetops, lighting the city like living torches. From where I stood, a high platform made of translucent wood, I could see the vastness of the forest, breathing, pulsing beneath the green light of the firmament. Lysara sat nearby, cross-legged. Despite her size, her movements were gentle, almost human. Her eyes reflected the shimmer of the lights, and for the first time I noticed something beyond her authority. A deep weariness, a nostalgia that made me want to understand her. "We weren't born giants," she said softly, like someone confessing a secret. "We were human like you, but the radiation from the red sky changed us, shaped us. We survived, yes, but the price was our loneliness." I looked at my hands so small compared to hers and felt a lump in my throat. "Then, there's no one else left in this world." Lysara slowly shook her head. "Only us, and the echoes." She told me how centuries ago, a catastrophe had destroyed their original civilization. The men had left in ships bound for the stars, promising to return once the atmosphere became livable again. But they never did. The women who remained, transformed by the planet's energy, founded Elira, the hidden city within the jungle. Since then they had waited. "And now you've fallen from the sky," said Lysara. The prophecy said that the one who came from fire would bring the lost mixture, the union of what is human with what remains of us. I stood and walked to the edge of the platform. In the distance, the giants were singing, their voices rising in waves, a mournful hymn that blended with the wind. The sound was so beautiful it hurt. "Lysara," I said without looking at her. "I don't know if I can be what you expect of me." She approached slowly until she stood before me. Her shadow covered me, but her voice was soft, warm. "We don't want a savior. We want a companion, someone who remembers what it means to feel." Her enormous fingers rested on the ground near my feet. I crouched and touched them. The skin was human, warm, trembling. For a moment, size no longer mattered. There was only contact and the feeling that two worlds separated by centuries were meeting again. "Elira doesn't seek power," she whispered. "It seeks love." Her words struck me with unexpected force. I had traveled through galaxies, survived cosmic storms, watched entire stars die. Yet none of those things had ever made me feel as alive as that simple phrase. That night I didn't sleep. I walked alone through the corridors of living wood, listening to the pulse of the forest. Sometimes I saw enormous shadows moving in the distance, the giant women watching me in silence. There was no malice in them, only an ancient calm, a deep curiosity. And as the warm wind brushed my skin, I realized something was awakening. not only in Elira but within me as well. An invisible bond, a cord tying me to the destiny of those colossal beings. Dawn in Elira was never a silent event. The forest awoke with a roar of life, roots shifting beneath the earth, leaves exhaling luminous mist, birds with transparent wings tracing circles above the city. I stood atop a natural tower built within the hollow trunk of a massive tree. From there I could see the entire valley. It was beautiful and unsettling. Lysara had summoned me to show me something. Her voice echoed from the base of the tree. "Come down, traveler. The time has come to see the heart that keeps us alive." I descended through an organic corridor whose walls glowed with a faint green light. As I went down, the air grew warmer, almost suffocating, heavy with energy. The ground pulsed, literally, as if I were walking inside a living body. At the end of the passage, an immense cavern opened up. In its center, suspended among roots and vines, throbbed a core of red and golden light, the heart of Elira. All around, dozens of giant women bowed, murmuring ancient prayers. The scene was majestic and terrifying. Lysara looked at me from the shadows, her face illuminated by the glow of the core. "Everything in Elira depends on this," she said. "Without the heart, we die. But its energy is fading. Each cycle, the light grows weaker." She extended her hand, inviting me to step onto her palm. I felt the deep vibration emanating from the heart, a frequency that resonated through my bones. "When you arrived, the light reacted," Lysara continued. "Elira recognized you." The heart shone brighter for an instant, as if responding to her words. The murmurs turned into a chant. The giants knelt, and a strange sensation ran through my body. The same energy of the heart seemed to stretch toward me, like an invisible current. "What's happening?" I asked, feeling an intense heat under my skin. Lysara closed her eyes. "It's choosing. The heart seeks a bond with human life. Only through you can it be reborn." A burst of light enveloped me. I saw fleeting images, burning mountains, dried oceans, giant faces fading into time. Then the vision changed, me walking among them, touching the fertile ground, seeds sprouting beneath my steps. I screamed, not in pain, but in awe. I felt the forest's strength within me, Elira's heartbeat merging with mine. When the light faded, the giants watched me in silence. Lysara smiled, tears shimmering on her cheeks. "It has begun," she said in a trembling voice. "The union between worlds." I struggled to breathe. Something inside me had changed. I could hear the jungle speak, feel the energy of every root, every leaf, every breath of those immense women. But along with wonder came fear. What if the heart hadn't chosen me, but claimed me? Lysara leaned closer, her lips near enough that her breath stirred my hair. "Do not fear. Elira does not destroy. She transforms." In her gaze there was no threat, only immense tenderness charged with destiny. And in that moment, I knew I was no longer a visitor in that world. Elira had accepted me, and nothing would ever be the same again. For days the forest did not stop moving. The air vibrated with new energy, and the trees seemed to grow faster, as if awakening from a millennial sleep. From the natural towers, the giants watched the horizon with a mix of fear and hope. Something in Elira was changing, and they all knew it had to do with me. The heart of the forest beat within me, literally. I could feel its pulse, synchronized with mine, guiding my steps and my breath. Sometimes I heard voices soft as the wind, whispering ancient words I couldn't understand. Yet they filled my mind with images, seeds sprouting, rivers reborn, human and giant faces laughing together. One morning, Lysara came for me. Her face, once solemn, now radiated a new peace. She lifted me in her hands as on the first day, and raised me toward the morning light. "Look," she said, "before us the entire jungle was blooming. Thousands of flowers opened at once, covering the valley with an impossible carpet of colors. Reds that looked like liquid fire, blues that sparkled like crystal. From the branches, birds and creatures I had never seen sang, celebrating the return of life. Lysara smiled. Elira breathes again because of you. The land renews, the air clears. But more than that, you have awakened something we had forgotten. What is it? I asked, still in disbelief. Hope. Her words moved me more than I expected, because they spoke not only of her world, but of mine. I remembered my planet, the loneliness of space, the voices I had lost. Perhaps it wasn't Elira that needed saving. Perhaps it was me. The following days were a celebration. The giant women danced around the heart, now glowing with steady golden light. The trees emitted natural melodies, and the river's waters, once murky, reflected the sky with clarity. Life returned in waves, but something else happened. The connection between me and the heart began to fade. Lysara noticed. Elira no longer needs you, she said sadly. You've fulfilled what the forest asked. And what will happen to me now? I asked. She lowered her gaze, then looked at me with infinite tenderness. You could stay. Elira would accept you as one of us. But if your soul belongs to the stars, the heart will show you the way back. The light of the core began to envelop us. It was warm, peaceful, like a wordless farewell. I felt my body becoming lighter, as if the wind were dissolving me into particles. Lysara leaned closer, so near I could see the reflection of my eyes in hers. Wherever you go, she whispered, Elira will live within you, and everything turned white. I woke up inside my capsule. The panel displayed Earth coordinates. I was back. But outside, through the glass, the blue planet looked different, brighter, more alive. In my chest, a faint glow still pulsed, like a distant echo of the forest's heart. I didn't know if Elira had been a dream, a vision, or a dimension hidden among galaxies. I only know that every time I close my eyes, I can hear her song, and with every heartbeat, I feel that a part of me still walks among those giant women, guardians of life, daughters of the endless jungle. If you ever hear the earth breathe, don't be afraid. Perhaps Elira is awakening within you too. If you enjoyed this story, give it a like and tell us from which city in the world you're watching. And to see more fascinating stories like this one, subscribe to the channel.